GTA 6 fans, we just got an absolutely massive information drop about Grand Theft Auto 6, and honestly, some of these details could completely change how we play the game. Dazed has published an exclusive deep dive into Grand Theft Auto 6 featuring conversations with multiple members of the Rockstar Games development team, and unlike rumors and leaks floating around online, we're talking about information coming directly from people working on the game. So let's get into everything Rockstar has revealed, because there is a lot to talk about. One of the biggest takeaways from this interview is Rockstar's goal of making Grand Theft Auto 6 feel significantly more grounded and reactive than previous GTA games. According to Dazed, the world isn't simply going to sit there while Jason and Lucia cause chaos. Your actions can actually have consequences. One example given in the article is extremely interesting. Imagine Jason walking down a busy street in Vice City while openly carrying a rifle. In an older GTA game, depending on the circumstances, you might be able to walk around without getting much of a reaction, but GTA 6 is apparently taking a different approach. If you're walking around the city carrying a rifle, people are going to notice the world can react to what you're doing. That might sound like a small detail, but think about what that could mean when all of these systems are working together. NPCs could potentially react differently depending on your behavior. People around Jason and Lucia aren't simply decorations filling the sidewalks. Rockstar wants this world to feel alive, and according to the Dazed feature, NPCs are becoming less like traditional video game NPCs than ever before. That can make committing crimes much more interesting. Imagine preparing for a robbery and having to actually think about how you're behaving before you even commit the crime. You might not want to walk down the street carrying a massive weapon. You might have to think about who's watching you, and when something goes wrong, the entire situation could become unpredictable. This is exactly the kind of evolution I've wanted to see from GTA, but Rockstar also understands that there's a balance here. Grand Theft Auto has always been about freedom. You can follow the story if you want, or you can steal a car, drive across the city, get into a police chase, and cause complete chaos. Rockstar doesn't want to remove that freedom. Instead, it sounds like the developers want the world to react more realistically to whatever you decide to do. And then we get into Jason Duval and Lucia Caminos. This is where things get really interesting. GTA 6 will feature the first playable couple in a leading role in the series. Jason and Lucia can operate together, but players can also separate them and go cause chaos independently. And Rockstar appears to have built some very interesting gameplay mechanics around that relationship. Dazed gives an example involving Jason and Lucia traveling to a job. You could be controlling Jason while he drives down the highway, but instead of simply sitting there until you reach the destination, you could switch over to Lucia sitting in the passenger seat. And Lucia could actually use the in-game phone while Jason continues driving. Yes, GTA 6 has working social media feeds, and considering the amount of social media satire we've already seen in GTA 6's trailers, that makes perfect sense. But things get even crazier when a mission goes wrong. Let's say Jason and Lucia are traveling to a job. Something happens now, you're in a police chase. The system can apparently allow you to move between different roles during the chase. At one moment you could be behind the wheel, then you could potentially switch to the passenger position and fire at the people pursuing you. That could create some incredible action sequences. Instead of every mission forcing you into one predetermined role, Jason and Lucia's partnership could allow the player to experience situations from different perspectives, and after all of that chaos is finished, you could potentially jump onto a jet ski and travel across the water together. Dazed describes Jason and Lucia riding together while taking in the Leonida scenery, complete with dolphins moving through the water. That's the contrast Rockstar seems to be going for. One minute you're in an insane police chase, the next minute you're peacefully traveling across the water with your partner, and that's where the relationship system could become incredibly important. Rockstar describes GTA 6 as having what the Dazed feature calls a Bonnie and Clyde style narrative. Jason and Lucia aren't simply two characters who happen to work together. Their romantic relationship is apparently an important part of the story, and player choices may have consequences for that relationship. That immediately raises some huge questions. Can Jason and Lucia's relationship improve or deteriorate depending on what we do? Can they argue? Can they lose trust in each other? Will certain decisions change how they interact? Could the relationship affect missions? We don't have all of those answers yet, but Rockstar is clearly putting a lot of attention into making Jason and Lucia feel like actual characters instead of empty avatars. Rob Nelson, Rockstar North's head of development and co-studio head, explained that Rockstar doesn't want these characters to simply feel like blank avatars. Their story is supposed to become a journey that the player shares with them, and Lucia represents another major milestone. She is Rockstar's first fully developed female lead in a mainline modern Grand Theft Auto story, but Rockstar isn't stopping with story and relationships. Some of the physical simulation systems from Red Dead Redemption 2 are coming back, and they're being expanded. Food can affect Jason and Lucia's weight. Exercise can visibly build and tone their muscles. That's right. What you do with Jason and Lucia can actually change their bodies. If you're constantly exercising Jason, you should be able to physically see the results. If either character's eating habits change, their weight can change as well. But here's where it gets even more detailed. If Jason or Lucia spends a long period away from their bed, their appearance can apparently begin reflecting that lifestyle. Imagine being on the run from police for several days, or spending multiple days partying around Vice City. Their faces and bodies can begin showing the effects. That reminds me immediately of Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur Morgan could gain and lose weight, his hair and beard grew. He could become dirty, fights could leave visible injuries. Those systems made Arthur feel physically connected to the world. Now, Rockstar is bringing that philosophy into GTA 6, except GTA 6 has modern gyms, modern fashion, nightlife, social media, beaches, and an entire culture obsessed with appearance. That could make customization much deeper than simply choosing a shirt and changing your haircut. Speaking of appearance, Rockstar is apparently taking Vice City's fashion extremely seriously. The Dazed article explains that Rockstar has worked on what is essentially an entire fashion ecosystem for the game. Vice City is heavily influenced by Miami, and appearances matter. Different areas can have different styles, different lifestyles can influence clothing, wealth can influence fashion, social status can influence fashion, and trends are supposed to feel like part of the world. So when you're customizing Jason or Lucia, your clothing might actually feel connected to the environment around you. That could mean we are getting the deepest clothing and character customization system Rockstar has ever created, and the NPCs are getting similar attention. GTA 6's population is supposed to be more varied than what we've seen in previous Rockstar games. We're talking about different ages, different body types, tattoos, piercings, plastic surgery, different fashion styles, people dress for completely different lifestyles and locations. The NPCs you encounter in Vice City shouldn't necessarily look like the people you encounter somewhere else in Leonida, and Rockstar apparently had to develop new technology and production tools to make that possible. Here's another crazy detail. According to Dazed, Rockstar has an entire Los Angeles branch focused almost entirely on the game's pedestrians. Think about that, an entire Rockstar operation largely dedicated to making the people walking around GTA 6's world feel believable. That tells you how seriously Rockstar is taking NPC behavior and population variety. But it gets even crazier. Rockstar's GTA 6 development team has more than doubled in size since Red Dead Redemption 2, and Rockstar has been doing extensive real-world research in Miami and the surrounding areas. Different Rockstar employees have traveled there throughout development. There's even a dedicated research team based in Miami. Rockstar developers have met with people from all different sides of the city, former criminals, law enforcement, club promoters, people involved with weapons, and other influential or notorious people willing to speak with them. The developers listen to their stories and combine that first-hand research with books, journalism, and additional research. The goal is to understand the culture rather than simply copying Florida stereotypes from the internet. That's incredibly important because we've all seen the Florida man jokes. And obviously GTA 6 is going to make fun of Florida culture. Its Grand Theft Auto satire is part of its DNA. But Rockstar apparently wants Leonida to feel like an actual place rather than one giant Florida meme. And Vice City is only one part of this world. We're going to have completely different environments throughout Leonida. There are beaches, urban neighborhoods, nightclubs, highways, the Leonida Keys wilderness, and locations like Mount Calaga National Park. Each area can have its own people, clothing, behavior, and atmosphere. Rockstar even brought in more than 50 real street artists to help create murals for areas of Vice City. And here's another detail that absolutely caught my attention. The team responsible for vehicle handling includes actual race car drivers. Yes, actual race car drivers are involved with GTA 6's vehicle handling. That could be huge. Vehicle physics have always been one of the most debated parts of Grand Theft Auto. Some players prefer the heavier feeling of GTA 4, others prefer GTA 5's more accessible handling. GTA 6 now has an opportunity to create something completely new, and with actual race car drivers helping the team responsible for handling, I'm extremely curious to see what driving feels like, especially during police chases. Imagine all these systems working together. You're driving through Vice City as Jason, Lucia is sitting beside you. A robbery goes wrong. Police start chasing you. You switch characters. Lucia starts firing from the passenger window. Traffic reacts, NPCs react, police react. The vehicle has more detailed handling. You escape toward the water, you abandon the car. You grab a jet ski, and suddenly you're flying across the ocean while dolphins jump nearby. That's the kind of emergent gameplay GTA 6 appears to be aiming for. Another major part of the game is music. Rockstar specifically discussed Miami's music culture. Miami-based is the influence alongside newer artists in the city's modern hip-hop scene. Rockstar wants different parts of Vice City's nightlife to feel distinct. House parties, clubs, high-end, South Beach locations. Different characters can introduce Jason and Lucia to different sides of the city. We're also going to see characters such as Booby Ike, Drake One Priest, and the real Dazed connected to parts of this world. And social media can apparently play into their stories. The real Dazed, for example, can have their rise reflected through viral posts inside GTA 6's social media system. That means the in-game internet might not simply be something you check for jokes. It could actually help tell stories, characters could become famous, events could potentially go viral, and the world could respond. That sounds incredibly ambitious, and ambition is really the biggest theme running through this entire Dazed interview. Rockstar knows the expectations surrounding GTA 6 are almost impossible. GTA 5 released 13 years ago, Red Dead Redemption 2 raised the standard for Rockstar's open worlds. Now GTA 6 has to somehow take everything Rockstar learned from both games and push it even further. Rob Nelson acknowledges that there's unprecedented external pressure, but he also says the pressure Rockstar puts on itself is even greater. Rockstar looks critically at its previous games. The developers examine things they didn't have enough time to accomplish. Things they couldn't accomplish because the technology wasn't available, and things they simply believe they could have done better. Then they try to evolve those systems, and GTA 6 sounds like the culmination of that philosophy: a more reactive world, more believable NPCs, deeper character relationships, physical changes to Jason and Lucia working social media, more detailed fashion, realistic cultural research, expanded vehicle handling, a massive version of Leonida, and Vice City at the center of everything. Grand Theft Auto 6 is currently scheduled to release on November 19, 2026 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S. And after hearing all these new details, I think the biggest question is no longer simply how big GTA 6 will be. The question is how deep this world actually goes, because a giant map is impressive, but a giant map where people react to you, your characters physically change, relationships evolve, social media operates in the background, fashion reflects different communities, and your actions actually have consequences. That's something completely different. Now I want to know what you think. Which of these new GTA 6 details has you the most excited? Is it the more reactive NPCs, Jason and Lucia's relationship, the ability to change their bodies through food and exercise, the improved vehicle handling, the working social media feeds, or the possibility of a much more realistic police and crime system? And here's another question. Do you want GTA 6 to be this realistic, or are you worried that too much realism could take away some of the crazy freedom that made older Grand Theft Auto games so much fun? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more GTA 6 news, Rockstar Games updates, Jason and Lucia information, gameplay details, and everything we learned leading up to release, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because if everything Rockstar is describing comes together, Vice City isn't just going to be a bigger GTA world, it could be the most reactive world Rockstar has ever created. Jason and Lucia are coming, Vice City is waiting, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is getting closer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next GTA 6 update.